But I think what we enjoy, Juan, is we see, many architects' offices, some offices are, the United States, they specialize. Say, we do hospital, we do libraries, we do schools, that's it. Our background is we do anything. We're architects, we're creative, so we're design-oriented, so we can do anything. We're trying to blur the difference of architecture and art. It is the same thing. We don't see that there's a difference of art in a building. It needs to be beautiful.
You have to first understand that architecture starts because we need to solve a problem. As architects, I think we need to wear many different hats, and one of them is we need to understand what the problem is. Take care of what the issues are, understand the client, understand what the issue is, and solve it.
Each project, each client comes with different concerns, different set of expectations, different schedules and budget. So we try to first understand where their goals are so we can try to exceed those goals. We try to understand all the aspects of their needs, and from that, then we get into the creative process of creating something of good design. No matter what the project is, they're looking for good design.
We have been recently involved in a very significant project here for the city of Austin, the block north of the city hall, and that's a perfect example of how really you need to fight hard for public space. Almost it feels like public space is almost like a conquest nowadays. You need to really fight and struggle for it.
What's happening with the architects is relying on sitting in their office waiting for the project to come. What Juan and me will be discussing is that we need to have the profession going back out there and us propose projects, get involved on making things happen.
So I think that we need to be more involved with the process. That is now more part of what the politicians and developers and engineers and transportation experts are part of. We need to be more part of that process.
In the United States, we're leaving our cities too much to others, to developers, to planners, to government, and not really to the people themselves, what they really need. And we need to get back into that part, into the debate of what's happening in our cities.
We really try to do what we call responsible architecture. And I know that it sounds maybe a little not very glamorous as an approach to architecture, but when we say responsible architecture, what we're trying to do is we're trying to acknowledge that as architects we what I call the spheres of responsibility. And I think that those spheres of responsibility are always in every project part of the mix. And we have the one that takes care of the functionality of the project that we need to take care of. For that, we need to listen very well. We need to understand what the problems are. There's another sphere of responsibility that deals with making the building sound, making the building work from the construction point of view, from the materials point of view. And the last sphere of responsibility is the one that puts on the architects the burden of making things beautiful. Be an artist, make it pleasant, make it delightful, create delight, make more pleasurable the experience of being in a city, being in front of a building. Either very strong or very subtle, but you need to make sure that people feel comfortable in the spaces you create. So those three spheres of responsibility need to be taken care of. If you fail in one of them, you have not succeeded as an architect, and someone is going to be unhappy because either what you do is very ugly, or because it doesn't work, or because it doesn't stand up. So you need to really address all those issues at the same time, and that's the tricky thing about an architect, because we need to work with that right side and left side of the brain all the time and at the same time. So every project has different circumstances, but the design decisions that you make need to be addressing these three aspects of what we do. And if you don't incorporate all those three at the same time, it's not going to work. And that's our job.